Dante and Johann lead Vanitas and Noé to the remote village of Swags as they track the beast of Gévaudan. They venture into the silver forest, where Noé becomes separated from the group. A sudden snowfall surprises Vanitas, Dante, and Johann, and they encounter a squadron of dragoons, hinting at a possible journey through time. Their confrontation with the beast is interrupted by the arrival of Jean, who manages to stop it. Meanwhile, Noé crosses paths with Astolfo Granitum, a young chasseur who identifies him as a vampire. Astolfo proceeds to eliminate the remaining dragoons, and enhances his abilities with a serum injection. Their encounter is abruptly disrupted by the arrival of Jean and Vanitas, who engage the beast. Vanitas deliberately provokes Astolfo, leading to the appearance of Charlatan's envoy, Nania, and a parade of demons. Astolfo loses control, and as Vanitas attempts to restore the beast using the Book of Vanitas, a knife knocks it from his grasp, plunging everything into darkness. Later, Noé lies unconscious and Chloe has reverted to her human form. Jean-Jacques appears and picks up the grimoire, inviting her to return to the Gévaudan castle with him. Jean discovers Vanitas in the snowy terrain, wounded by Astolfo's poisoned knife. She transports him to an abandoned structure, where her attempts to mend his health reveal their contrasting intentions. She's set on eliminating the beast, while he strives to save it. The following morning, Vanitas has recuperated, though Jean is disconcerted and embarrassed to realize she spent the entire night next to his exposed body to provide warmth. Johann and Dante eventually track them down, revealing that Jean-Jacques and Chloe have taken Noé and the grimoire. Vanitas, however, harbors suspicion about their true motives and insists on learning why the vampires and the church are pursuing the beast, leading Dante to agree to divulge the information. Meanwhile, Marco encounters Alfonso, who remains determined to hunt down the beast while seeking refuge in a cave. At Castle Gévaudan, Chloe drinks Noé's blood as he remains unconscious until the envious Jean-Jacques intervenes to halt her. Later, when Noé joins them for dinner, he finds Chloe in the company of Charlatan's envoy Nania. Chloe explains to Noé that she willingly became a curse-bearer when Nania granted her wish. In retaliation for Louis's death, Noé attacks Nania, but Chloe intervenes and incapacitates him. Simultaneously, Dante informs Veritas about the eradication of the Diopters by the beast. They were conducting research on the world formula against the church's wishes, with the aim of creating an alternate engine to manipulate the formula responsible for the beast of Gévaudan. Dante discloses his allegiance to Sir Francis Varney, the clockwork fiend Marquis Machina, who is in pursuit of the alternate engine. Within the castle, Chloe recollects her family's history and their pursuit of an alternate engine, as well as her ongoing research. After the war between humans and vampires, August Ruthven demanded the results of her research, but she refused to surrender them. Chloe now determines that it's time to activate the alternate engine. Jean departs for Gévaudan Castle, accompanied by Vanitas, with the intention of eliminating the beast. Inside the castle, Jean-Jacques shares his blood with Noé, enabling the vampire to access his memories. Noé witnesses how Jean-Jacques made a pact with Charlatan to acquire the power to protect Chloe. It becomes evident that he is the beast, not Chloe, although she willingly became a curse-bearer as a vampire. Noé, now recovered, reunites with Vanitas, and they exchange the information they've uncovered thus far. They suspect that the church may have sanctioned the beast as a means of maintaining fear of vampires and the unknown among the population. Soon, they encounter Astolfo, and Noé volunteers to deal with him while Vanitas sets out to locate Chloe and the grimoire. Vanitas discovers Chloe as she initiates the activation of the alternate engine, which unexpectedly compels Nania to assume a corporeal form, allowing Chloe to vanquish her and the malevolence she embodies. Chloe initiates an attempt to strangle Nania in a bid for revenge for transforming Jean-Jacques into the beast. However, Vanitas cautions her that Nania will remember her true identity as Queen Faustina, the first vampire of the Crimson Moon. Nania resists Chloe, and the beast retaliates against her. The queen effortlessly pushes it aside, leaving Chloe in agonizing pain. The castle is subsequently shrouded in darkness and torn apart, with its fragments beginning to drift apart within a confined realm crafted by Chloe. The populace falls under attack by wolves, but the paladin Roland and his chasseurs, Olivier, Georges, and Maria, arrive and dispatch the wolves. Roland reunites Vanitas and Noé and expresses his desire to converse with Chloe before confronting the beast. In the meantime, Jean experiences a flashback to the time when Rufin transformed her into a burrow, weaponizing her for his own purposes. Jean grapples with the conflict between her concern for vampires, Chloe and Jean-Jacques, and her burrow duty to eliminate them. However, Vanitas earnestly implores her to assist in saving them. As Astolfo regains consciousness, he remembers how he and his sister befriended a vampire boy who later sought revenge by wiping out his entire family and household, following his own family's demise at the hands of the Chasseurs Paladins. Vanitas requests Dante to search for the grimoire while he endeavors to reactivate the alternate engine, powered by a unique variety of astromite known as blue tearstone. In a frenzied rampage, Astolfo assaults and wounds Jean-Jacques before launching a vicious attack on Noé. Both Vanitas and the injured Jean-Jacques come to the realization that Chloe intended to annihilate herself and Gévaudan Castle. Jean-Jacques extends a heartfelt plea to Chloe, expressing his desire for them to be together indefinitely, prompting her to revert to her human form. Meanwhile, Vanitas retrieves the grimoire and opens it in an effort to nullify Chloe's self-destructive enchantment enveloping the castle. Vanitas realizes that the grimoire's power is ineffective against the Malnamen, except when a curse-bearer renounces the icy and snowy netherworld they inhabit. He implores Chloe to reject it. Simultaneously, Noé defeats Astolfo but loses his left hand during the battle. Vanitas persuades Chloe successfully to embrace her humanity, unveiling her true name, Canoris, she who creates music with snow flowers. This breaks the spell, and the land is blanketed in white petals. Now that Chloe has become human, Jean-Jacques asks Vanitas to do the same for him so they can be together. He complies, revealing his name as Aprix, he who seeks warmth in the final snow. Consequently, Gévaudan is finally liberated from the beast's curse. Jean, overwhelmed with joy at Chloe's return to humanity and the end of the need to harm her childhood friend, emotionally embraces Vanitas and drinks his blood. Noé comes back to Paris in the company of Vanitas, who appears to be afflicted by a weakening affliction ever since Jean bit him, and her presence continually haunts his thoughts. Subsequently, while in the streets, Vanitas crosses paths with Roland and Olivier, and upon recounting his state, they assert that he is in love, much to his shock and dismay. Meanwhile, Jean confides in Luca about her emotions for Vanitas, and to her astonishment, he enlightens her that she has developed feelings for him. Vanitas' adoptive brother, Mikhail, takes Dominique hostage and sends a letter to Noé along with a lock of her hair. Noé encounters Mikhail at an amusement park and, with Dominique perched atop the Ferris wheel, he coerces Noé into drinking his blood to unveil his memories. Noé subsequently witnesses how he came under the care of the Chasseurs after a vampire killed his prostitute mother. Later, he was taken as a test subject by Dr. Moreau, which is where he initially crossed paths with Vanitas. Moreau conducted experiments on the children, involving the injection of small quantities of blue moon vampire blood to confer vampire characteristics upon them. When he attempted to connect them to 2 books of Vanitas in order to access the analytical engines within these books, the androgynous blue moon vampire launched an attack, leading to the facility's destruction and the abduction of the children. The vampire provided care for them, but the effects of Moreau's experiments had already shortened their lifespans. Subsequently, the vampire proposed a solution to extend their lives by welcoming them into the Blue Moon clan. In the present, Noé collapses after drinking Mikhail's blood. Vanitas challenges Mikhail to recollect the events surrounding Vanitas' confrontation with Luna, the vampire of the Blue Moon. Mikhail admits to having limited recollections of that time, except that his savior, who rescued him from the brink of death, mentioned a method to revive father. In an attempt to shoot Mikhail with Dante's gun, Vanitas is halted by Noé, who fears for Dominique's safety and insists on learning about Vanitas' past. Vanitas declines and a colossal battle ensues, with Vanitas using the green serum to augment his abilities and employing the full might of the grimoire to protect his memories against Noé. They fight to a stalemate, both sustaining significant injuries. In an act to relieve Noé's concern, Dominique descends from the top of the Ferris wheel, but Jean manages to rescue her. Noé comes to the realization that Vanitas is determined not to form any emotional attachments. Despite this, He still regards Vanitas as a friend and leaves himself vulnerable as Vanitas advances on him with a knife. Vanitas finds himself in a position of power over the defenseless Noé, but he cannot bring himself to use the knife. Frustrated, Mikhail unleashes the full potential of his grimoire and calls upon vampires to eliminate everyone, yet he struggles to control its power. Dominique shields everyone by harnessing her control over ice, but the grimoire inflicts harm on Mikhail when he directs his anger toward Vanitas. At this moment, Teacher appears in the form of a young man, revealing that he was the one who saved Mikhail. He now adopts the name Count of Saint Germain and departs with Mikhail. The following day, Mikhail returns to find Vanitas and Noé on the rooftop. Vanitas explains that he killed Luna because an unidentified individual had cursed the Blue Moon vampire. The pursuit of this malefactor is the reason behind Vanitas's treatment of cursed vampires, and he declines to join forces with Mikhail. After Mikhail's departure, Vanitas contemplates his past actions and, despite his determination to persist in his mission, he offers an apology to Noé, whom he now regards as a friend.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.